Thanks for hosting us here today at Morgan's Wonderland, Gordon. We really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
The weather's lifted a little bit, so it looks like it's going to be a nice day.
Yeah, you know, we need the rain, but everybody's been saying that, but I'm kind of getting tired of it now, to be honest with you. Yeah.
I wanted to talk today a little bit about these charter amendments that are on the November 6th ballot. Can you briefly, for those people that may not know about them, which is hard to believe, may not know about them, tell me a little bit about those.
Well, there's three, and everybody needs to be informed because they will really make a major difference if they do pass to how we do things in San Antonio, of which none of that is in a positive. Mm-hmm. None of it's positive. The first one has to deal with the way in which anyone could go in and take city council action, no matter what it may be, a zoning case, anything that the city council votes on, and says, we can, through 20,000 signatures over a 6-month period, be able to put that towards a referendum.
So that's not many signatures, and that's a long time.
Well, it's not, because normally it's 70,000
right.
to 80,000 signatures
right.
over a 40-day period, which is a much tougher threshold to achieve. Well, why does that make a difference? Why is that a big deal? Because what it will do is bring about instability. Mm-hmm. Because every time city council takes an action, anybody can threaten that I'm going to go and get signatures to be able to try to stop something.
Right.
But what's made it even more complicated is now signatures can be bought. Mm-hmm. It used to be where you had to stand in front of the store and say, hey, would you, and this is what we're doing. Now there are professional companies that for $2 per signature, so basically $40,000, somebody can control the action of City Hall.
Yes. So there's been information that's put out there that these amendments are really for the people. Are they really for the people, or are they for a special interest group?
Well, unfortunately, they were brought forward by a fire union, and I'm the first to tell you that I think that the firefighters are wonderful folks. But what is going on here by the fire union is not good for San Antonio. I normally don't even get engaged in campaigns to the level that I have on this one because I know that this is so bad for San Antonio. And so it is a special interest grab, if you will. Mm-hmm. I'll use that term, to be able to take City Hall and make it weaker. If you make City Hall weaker and you're a union, then you have the opportunity to jump in there and make things your way instead of the way which is best for the city. And that can't be good for San Antonio. And so it is about special interest. It's about trying to take control, and we need to stop that.
Well, that was going to be a question that I had. Normally, you're not at the forefront of a political campaign. No. Why this one?
Because of the magnitude of the ramifications. I mean, it is by far the most troubling thing I've ever seen come to San Antonio voters in my entire existence here in San Antonio, which is some 50 years. Mm-hmm. There's never been anything that can have more of a detriment. Let's talk about even the second item, the Proposition B, for example, which limits what we can pay the city manager. San Antonio has grown and become a very strong city because we've done things the right way. What now this union is trying to do is basically say we're going to make it to where the city manager cannot make more than $290,000 a year. And if that city manager, he or she does a good job, they are let go after 8 years. Right. Let's talk about management and why it's important. We've had a city manager in there that, if you look at the past 32 years, we have spent about $2.5 billion in infrastructure to help San Antonio. Of those 32 years, $2 billion of that has been done in the past 12 years versus the prior 20 years, where we only spent about $500 million. Well, how were we able to do that? It's because we had low interest rates. Mm-hmm. And you hear a lot about AAA bond rating. Well, there's a reason we have AAA bond ratings, because we've been managed well. Have we done everything perfect? No. There's a lot of things you'd sit there and go, we should have done this different, maybe we could have done this. But I will tell you, the people who look at this from a big, broad perspective have said San Antonio is very stable, and because of that, we want to ensure that the interest rate are as low as possible in San Antonio and people will lend. That is why we've been able to do so much more, because it's cost us so much less to do it. It has been told by these same agencies that if these amendments pass, that they will not see San Antonio as being stable anymore.
Yes.
What does that mean? Well, let me just use an example. If we were to move one notch down from our AAA rating, which we're the only major city in the entire country that has that rating. There's no other major city in the entire
Right.
country. If we were to move one notch down, that would cost us about $35 million in interest. So to answer your question, that's why I've become so involved, because this is nothing but a taking from the citizens. It's not giving to the citizens more opportunities, it's taking from them.
Well, let's turn to something a little bit more lighthearted.
Okay. Okay.
Morgan's Wonderland has been selected, and congratulations, for the 2019 Special Olympics of the Summer Games. Tell us a little bit about that and the impact that's going to have on San Antonio.
Well, let me first say, I was just very pleased that we have the opportunity to bring the Special Olympics to San Antonio. It's never been here.
Wow.
And so, and this will be the 50th Special Olympics, a big one. And what we found was San Antonio was always a place where the Special Olympics should have been held. And the reason is, if you look at the entire state just of Texas, the most Special Olympic athletes actually are in Bexar County.
Really?
Yeah, which a lot of people don't know. And so we have a lot of athletes here, a lot of people participate. But we've been going to other cities to do it. Once we had an opportunity to really say, why is that? And let's look at what we can offer, not just here at Morgan's Wonderland, which is an incredible amount of opportunity to put on one of the best Special Olympics ever. I know we'll do that. But also what San Antonio has to offer. There was a conclusion that, yes, we want to come to San Antonio and make it a big deal.
Well, thank you again for joining
Sure.
me today. I appreciate it very much. These are important issues, and I appreciate the leadership. I think we all appreciate the leadership role that you've taken to help ensure that these don't pass, and that our city remains one that's moving forward and marching forward.
Well, and if people want more information, because, don't just take my word for it, read what's going to be on it. You can go to govoteno.com.
Okay.
In there, it actually allows you an opportunity to really understand the detail of all three of the charter amendments. And I think once you have an opportunity to really read them, understand what they are about, I think you will agree, and everyone will agree, that this would not be good for the city of San Antonio. And so it's time to say no.
Great.
Thanks again for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.